This is episode 9 of the Bleacher Nation Bears Podcast. Thanks to our sponsoring partner, Obvious Shirts. Obvious Shirts. Words on shirts. Did you wake up this morning wanting to celebrate the first place Bears by wearing a t-shirt that expresses your feelings? Well, you can get yours at obviousshirts.com. Or, later today, tomorrow, sometime whenever, you can go in person at the corner of Clark and Grace in Wrigleyville. Go support our friends at Obvious Shirts because they support us. Thanks again to our sponsors at Obvious Shirts. Tell them the Bleacher Nation Bears Podcast sent you.
Good morning to every first place Chicago's Bear fans, and happy Victory Monday. I'm Patrick Flowers. It might be a little too early for me here yet. I'm joined by Matt Rooney and Luis Medina as always. And gentlemen, as I said, the Chicago Bears are in first place in the NFC North. How are we feeling?
We did
today?
it again. We
did it again.
We got to keep taking credit for this. What's the record? There's one loss, I think.
One loss. We have one loss since we've come back.
That's it.
We are the sole reason for the Chicago Bears' success this year.
No, it's totally not Ben Johnson's culture or Caleb Williams taking the next step or the improved offensive line or the defense taking the football away. It's definitely none of those things. It is all entirely us.
Those are complimentary.
You're inspiring.
That's actually no, Patrick. That's a good point. The team's playing complementary football. We're playing complementary football, and I feel like that's complementary football. I feel like is a pretty good way to start talking about yesterday's game because it feels like that's kind of where last year that never really happened. Like when the defense needed to play or needed the offense to help out, they kind of couldn't do it, and the offense needed the defense to take a play, they couldn't do it. Yesterday, for the most part, with the exception of J.J. McCarthy's final drive, it seemed like every time one side of the ball needed the other to make a play, they kind of did. Even special teams, which wasn't great again, still made some key plays when they really, really had to. And that's the biggest difference. Obviously, the culture's building. Caleb's getting better. The offensive playmakers are better. But like it feels like this year they're playing so much better complementary football, especially late in games when they need things to happen, when they need plays to be made. Like Nahshon Wright, he has not been – I'll call it consistent because it's hard not to call like the NFL's interception leader, which I think he is right now, or at least he's up near the top. It's hard to say he's not having a good year, but he does seem to get burned quite often. But also he makes that interception in the end zone right before the half that kind of keeps the Bears with momentum. Like they're playing good complementary football right now, and that helps win football games. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about all those times we heard Bears coaches talk about we need complementary football. We need complementary football. Now, no one talks about it, but we see it play out every week. We don't hear Ben Johnson saying every week, we need to play complementary football because they do. It's offensive line. It's contributions from special teamers. It's Durham Smythe picking up a block or Josh Blackwell on the kick return picking up a block. It's a different hero every week, and it kind of reminds me of the 2001 team where it was someone different every week.
That was a fun team.
Making a play, and it was a fun team. It was a team that we didn't have a ton of expectations.
Was that the team that got smacked by the Eagles when they were playing Champaign? Was that Jim Miller?
No, not Champaign. But they did get beat by the Eagles in the first round that year, I believe.
Okay, that's what
Hugh
Douglas had himself. Hugh Douglas was awesome.
Hugh Douglas killed Jim Miller, and he hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
All right,
that was a fun year.
Not to interrupt you, but I wanted to confirm my Bears playoff years because there haven't been too many in my lifetime. I wanted to make sure
not that hard to keep track of.
One. No, really not. They usually end with those types of losses too.
To your point on Nahshon Wright, Matt, Kevin Byard leads the league with 5, and Nahshon Wright is tied for second with 4.
That's right.
Both of them have interceptions courtesy of 9, J.J. McCarthy, who has now completed 3 passes to the Bears this year in 2 games. So if we need a backup quarterback, J.J. McCarthy apparently likes throwing the football to Bears players already.
I know he had the nice game-ending drive there, but like, man, he's just not good.
All he did on the game-ending drive was what he had done successfully all game, which was attack short over the middle, like in the zone, in the soft spot of the zone. Like he didn't do anything.
Like even the touchdown pass was like, was it Addison who caught it? Like he was not wide open, but he was pretty darn open. Like it's not like he had to make a tight move through window. He just threw it to a spot in the corner where he knew there was going to be a guy. It's not like
That was Nashawn Wright's coverage, right? Because it looked like he got lost in the sauce a little bit and turned towards the post rather than the pylon, and then couldn't recover in time, and that's why he had that much. The receiver had that much space. So, a little mistake there by Nashawn Wright.
Nashawn Wright giveth, and Nashawn Wright taketh away. He does both.
Yes, he does.
The gift and the curse of a cornerback.
He does, but the Bears still won, and that's all that matters. We're 7-3, gentlemen. We're in first place. Big ups to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if you guys were aimlessly scrolling Twitter last night while laying down like I was, but it was hilarious to see all of the Eagles fans replying to like posts about the Bears being in first place, like talking about the alliance and your
Bears Eagles alliance. It's alive and well.
The Bears Eagles alliance is strong today. Won't be next week. 2 weeks from now, but
hey man, take it. You can get him.
No Lane Johnson in that game for Philly. I mean, I know the Bears don't have the most dangerous of pass rush, but like that's a thing. He's probably the best tackle in football, and he makes that offensive line go. They're a different team when he doesn't play, but we don't need to talk about Philly yet. That just came across the wire though not long ago. He's out like 4 to 6 weeks, so Bears are going to dodge a bullet not having to see him blocking for Jalen Hurts.
I'll take it. I will take it.
That's the break. Sometimes you get years where everyone's healthy and your team is banged up, and sometimes you get years when they're banged up and you're healthy, and hopefully the Bears can. That's gonna be a quick turnaround game. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that one, but like that's a big one. But thank you to the Eagles. Shout out to Philly. I probably need to find a Philly cheesesteak at some point this week to commemorate.
Maybe get that and send a tweet from BN Bears like, here's to the Bears Eagles alliance, something like that. Acknowledge that we're acknowledging the alliance as well.
Yes. We got to be on the right side of history there.
Yes. It's a good alliance,
What'd you guys think of Caleb yesterday? I thought it was an interesting game. I think I graded him like at a C+. Like, I feel like he did some really good things, but there's still like the deep ball accuracy is still not there. I didn't play bad, but like deep ball accuracy is still not quite there. I thought what he did, I mean, granted, he was going, it seemed like Brian Flores reversed the game plan from week one where we think he's going to send everything. He's going to send the house and blitz, and then he really didn't. And then this time he's like, no, I'm going to send everything at you. I thought he did a good job once you take away with like the 2-for-7 start when everybody looked bad. The offensive line looked bad. He looked bad.
Yeah.
But after that start, he did a great job of just taking what was given to him, like identifying the blitz, seeing the blitz was coming, hot read out to the left, whatever. I thought he did a really nice job of that once he got comfortable. Just took him a little while to get comfortable.
The most 100%. Important number for me when it comes to Caleb Williams yesterday is 0. And that's 0 turnovers. Mm-hmm. He was blitzed, depending on what metric you're using or what you're following, 66 to 78% of the time.
78%.
Yeah, 78. I saw it at 66 yesterday at some point. Anyway, it's 0 turnovers when you're being blitzed 70, 80% of the time is a really impressive number against a Brian Flores defense. Yes, he didn't look great. His teammates didn't do him many favors. DJ had a bad drop and almost had another one.
Ugly drop.
There were some.
So did Burden.
Burden had a couple. Burden made like 2 really nice plays, but also had 2 drops that you can't really have. He was kind of like all over the place. The drops weren't as bad as last week, but like they were definitely there.
Look, Caleb didn't play great, but he didn't play poorly enough to cost you a game. The difference between Caleb and JJ and the difference between winning and losing is not making stupid mistakes. And Caleb didn't make stupid mistakes. JJ did, and that's why the Bears won.
Yeah, it's nice to see like Caleb's clearly still getting comfortable in Ben Johnson's system. I think he's progressing every week, and I think he's seeing things a whole lot better now than he was at the beginning of the year. But he's still on his development journey as an NFL quarterback. And if he's not making mistakes, I shouldn't say not making mistakes because he is making mistakes, but if he's not turning the ball over in these games where we're seeing his C+ type stuff, that's huge. He's still taking care of the football. He's still going on the road against very good defenses and giving the team a chance to win football games, even when he's not actively winning them football games or having his best stuff. And I think that's I think that's a really, really big step as he's learning how to be, truly an NFL quarterback in a complicated NFL system like Ben Johnson's. The fact that he's not making those critical mistakes, and I mean, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anything now, but he hasn't really made those critical mistakes. The fact that he's not doing that, I think, is a huge sign for his development.
Check this out.
My favorite thing.
I'm gonna give you two stat lines here. Okay.
Blind resume.
Player A, 17 of 29 for 176 yards, 58% completion, 6.1 average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, a sack, and an 87.7 passer rating. Player B, 16 of 32, 193, 50% completion, 68.9 passer rating, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks.
Well, 2 is Caleb.
What's the common denominator between A and B?
They're both Caleb Williams. Is that Caleb Williams' line from week 1?
Nope.
No interceptions.
Player A is Lamar Jackson last week against Brian Flores' Minnesota Vikings defense.
Okay.
So my point is,
I like that.
As far as how did Caleb Williams play on Sunday against the Vikings, or how we should evaluate how Caleb Williams played, 78% blitz by Brian Flores and the Vikings defense. And let's remember, these aren't just traditional regular blitzes. These are exotic blitzes where he's dropping guys from all over the place. Okay. He threw everything in the kitchen sink at Caleb. Lou, to your point, 0 turnovers, 2 sacks. Both of them came on 1 drive back to back, albeit in a really not desirable spot. But again, how many sacks did he escape with his with plays that other quarterbacks in the league cannot make? Maybe even Lamar Jackson himself, as many times as he did it. I'm telling you right now, the escapability from physical contact, like that Caleb Williams shows on a weekly basis and did numerous times against Minnesota, is something special. And those stat lines, again, they're right there. Like, people really, really, really have to understand how difficult it is to have success against Brian Flores' defense.
Especially in Minnesota.
Lamar Jackson is a multi-time MVP award winner. 1 week prior, he had about the same results as Caleb Williams against Brian Flores' defense. That's all you need to know about Sunday's performance. That's
a great call, because I didn't really watch a ton of that. I mean, watched enough of the Vikings-Ravens game, but I didn't really realize the stats were that close to each other. The one thing that I think is that maybe the next step, but I think it's for the whole offense, not just Caleb, but mostly the quarterback. Red zone and finding the knockout punch. And that's going to come as they get familiar with, and Rome Odunze keeps getting better, and hopefully Luther Burden keeps getting better. They've started looking for Colston Loveland more, and I think he had a really, really nice game again yesterday, even though his stat line wasn't the most outstanding. I thought he came up big at some big times when he had to. They need to start cashing in on 6s instead of 3s, and I feel like we've been saying that for several weeks now. They had a lot of chances.
The Bengals game.
Yeah, they had a lot of chance, but again, the Bengals defense is. They don't want to take anything away from them. They did it. They did what they should against the Bengals defense, but that's the worst defense in football.
It's a historically bad defense now. 3 consecutive games, 27 or more points allowed.
God, that's terrible. They got to start finding ways to cash in more often in the red zone. It's just that's the difference between and if they can start doing that, and granted they're going to start going up against some significantly better football teams now as we go, that's when I'll be willing to say, like, that's when I might start getting my hopes a little bit higher for kind of what this season might be. And I'm not sure they're going to get that much more consistent in the red zone, but you can get away with beating JJ McCarthy or Russell Wilson or, whoever they beat throughout this streak, not scoring touchdowns and settling for 3s. You're not going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles I'm not saying the Bears are going to go in and beat Philly, because I don't think they are, but you don't beat them by settling for field goals from the 13-yard line or settling for field goals from the 7. You beat them by scoring touchdowns once you get in the red zone. Same thing with the Packers, same thing with the Lions. So I think they're going to have plenty of chances to do it coming up here against some really good teams, but that's the next step this offense really needs to take if we're going to think that they're actually going to have a chance to get to the playoffs and do something once they get there. That's just my opinion.
No, I'm with that. Although, again, the Eagles, listen, that's going to be a tough game in Philly. There's no doubt about it. But I had this thought last night, and everybody's like, oh, well, the Bears, they've got 7 wins, but they haven't beat a team above 500. Coming into the season, all we could talk about was the Bears' strength of schedule and how daunting the schedule was. The whole thing, right? Here we are with 7 wins. Yes, some of those teams on the front half of the schedule have underperformed their expectations. That's football. There's no easy win in the NFL. None. I don't care what the team's record.
No, you see it every week. There's a double-digit underdog that gives the favorite a run or even sometimes pulls off.
Look at the Eagles. They barely escaped the Lions this week. They barely escaped the Packers the previous week. They've got a loss to the New York Giants this season. They beat Kansas City by 3. They beat Dallas by 4. They beat the Buccaneers and the Rams by a score. They're beat. They can lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. They're not going in there and blowing everybody out. Yeah, they're doing the things they got to do to win. And Matt, to your point, 3s need to be 6s against a team like that if you're going to beat them. But if the Bears do what they're supposed to do, if they do convert earlier in games, there's no reason why they can't beat the Eagles or the Packers or the Lions for that matter.
I think they're well coached enough and have enough skill to. I know they're talking about a team that in week 2 got absolutely the doors blown off them, but by the Lions. But that was also after that awful turn of events and blown call going into halftime. Before that, it was actually still a game. Like, I think they're good enough and well coached enough to not really get embarrassed in any of those spots and be in any game, but. It's going to come down. Like, the Eagles are very good. They're not as explosive as they've been in past years. Saquon Barkley looks like I don't want to call him a step slower because I don't think he's a step slower, but he just looks
the
like
offensive line is a step slower. And that's
offensive line misses. They don't have the depth they had last year because any team that wins the Super Bowl loses that depth because
for sure
lower end teams pay for, high end Super Bowl free agents and the Eagles couldn't afford to bring anyone back. That'll be a winnable game. Now, they should compete in that game. If they go in and get blown out, I will be very disappointed in them. I would like to see them go in and compete in that football game because they should. There's not a team the Bears shouldn't compete against. But until they start taking those next steps of learning how to convert in the red zone for me offensively, it's going to be tough for me to think that they can beat any of those, actually go on the road and beat any of those legitimate Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I think my big takeaway from this is that the Bears can beat anyone on any given day, but also the Bears can lose to anyone on any given day.
That's absolutely correct.
It's true. Like,
I'm not listening to any of that type of talk on first place.
But it's a good thing.
I don't think it's I don't take that as a bad thing. Like, again, we're
in games because they're well coached. They have enough talent. They have a quarterback who has the will to win. Those are things that you need to just win games, and they have that.
Hawkism.
Across they have TW.
It's a hawkism.
This team overall, like on paper, the talent isn't a ton different than it was last year. They're just significantly better coached. Obviously, they improved the offensive line quite a bit, but talent-wise, outside of the offensive line, it's not that different of a group. The difference is they're well coached and they have TW.
Yeah, and you know what else they're going to have very soon? Jalen Johnson,
Kyler Gordon,
and Kyler Gordon.
That's gonna be helpful. They need Kyler Gordon back.
And TJ Edwards back too.
Did we get a Tyreek Stevenson update? He left when that the collision with Byard, right? Did he come back?
No, he did not. Yeah, that's why we saw a lot of Nick McLeod down the stretch there. That's something to keep tabs on.
Don't want to see much more of Nick McLeod.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
But no, I think what Lewis said, I think
Jalen Johnson back against Philly, which would be huge.
So they reopened the window, so that means 21 days.
21 days.
And yeah, that would be. Then again, that's
Packers.
It's a shorter week, so technically he could miss that week and still come out of the window, right?
No. It's 21 days. They have 21 days to declare.
Oh, okay, got it.
I think it's the Packers game is where he would have to play in the Packers game, or else he would have to remain. I think he plays against the Eagles.
If you heard Kevin Burkhardt yesterday, he said the Bears are looking to have Jalen back in the next 1 to 2 weeks. That was something that wasn't really out there until he said that. So I was just like, okay, I'm taking note of this. Wednesday's going to be a big day. We'll see how he shows up on the injury report with practice participation.
I would be, if I didn't catch that from Burkhardt, so good catch on that, because obviously opening the window, you know it's going to be soon, but 1 to 2 weeks is fantastic. Especially if Aaron Rodgers has a fracture in his wrist and isn't playing this week, I would not be stunned at all if Jalen Johnson was then, it was 2 weeks instead of 1, because not that you can ever take anything for granted, but like do you really want to force him back early and then risk him getting hurt again in a game like that and then lose him for the year? Do you play it safe and just, they haven't had Jalen Johnson all year.
Yes,
so they've kind of gotten used to, not that they've been good, but like Dennis Allen's gotten used to getting by without him a little bit. So if Aaron Rodgers isn't playing on Sunday, which I don't think he's going to be if he broke a wrist, the Eagles makes a lot of sense. That should be the spot for him.
Before we get too far ahead into that, let's give out some game balls for Sunday.
Okay.
Matt, we're going to start with you.
Oh, I don't like starting with me on that. I'm going to Colston Loveland. I know the line wasn't outstanding, but the blocking's getting so much better. All the tight ends, by the way, had very nice games yesterday. I think Kmet caught all 5 of his targets. Durham Smythe had a nice game blocking. I think
that was hunting for a concussion.
Yes, he was.
CTE.
I forgot who the defender was, but he came in and tried to concuss Kmet, and then I think got concussed. But no, it seemed like Loveland's catches came at big times. He had the 3rd and 14 where he probably should have been stopped about a yard short of the line when those 2 Vikings defenders are coming in on him. He splits them, picks up the first down. He's becoming that safety valve outlet, 3rd and medium outlet that every great quarterback seems to have and need if they want to take that next step. He's becoming that safety blanket for Caleb Williams, and I think that's just such a huge, huge development for the offense, for Caleb. But also, we talk about red zone offense and needing that to take the next step. Having a really reliable tight end who can get open and be a big target in the red zone is absolutely huge for that. So I think he's going to help the red zone take the next step. Again, not the best stat line, but I thought he took another really, really positive step forward yesterday all around the game. So Colston Loveland.
Can I get a little bit granular on the tight end talk?
Absolutely. This is your podcast, Luis. You can do whatever you want.
So my favorite thing about yesterday's game might have been how Cole Kmet was the safety valve tight end option for the checkdowns and for when things weren't deep and when he was kind of just releasing off a block. Using Colston Loveland down the field in the middle of the field plays to Caleb Williams' strength so much. And it's something that the other coordinators in the past have not done with Bears quarterbacks. They have not put tight ends in a good position to be successful, which has really kind of hamstrung the quarterback. Meanwhile, we're seeing Ben Johnson put Colston Loveland down the field in the middle in a place where Caleb can see him, throw him open, and he makes plays. He's hard to tackle. He's healthy now. And seeing him and Cole Kmet work together in different ways, I was like, oh, this is what the 2 tight end system is supposed to look like. That was really
I see the vision.
Also, Caleb had like a 106 passer rating.
I'm trying to tell you.
Kmet and Loveland yesterday. So I think it was like 8 of 9, 85 yards, 106 passer rating. Like, what else do you want from the guy?
I won't say it yet, but once we get to the end of the year, I think there are going to be a lot of Bears fans, followers, people that are going to owe Colston Loveland and Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles for drafting Colston Loveland an apology.
I got mine out of the way.
For overreacting for the first 4 weeks of the year when he was still coming along.
That was awesome.
You did, though, Lou.
I did.
You did good. Who's your game ball?
All right, you guys give your game balls.
My game ball goes to JJ McCarthy because I know I'm going to get it back. He's going to
JJ or 9?
JJ McCarthy just throw the ball back to me.
Was it 9 or was it JJ or 9?
Whichever one. No, he can't be both? 9. 9 is too good of a number for him to ruin. In fact, he should change his number. He should be wearing like, I don't know, whatever.
9 was Cade McNown.
Cade McNown was 8. 9 was Shane Matthews.
Oh, Shane Matthews. Yeah, sorry.
9 was also Nick Foles. Look, 9 is such a great, not necessarily a great number for Bears, although Jaquan Brisker wears it well. 9 is such a great number in sports that I can't have JJ McCarthy ruin it. And I know he's from the Chicago suburbs. That makes it even worse. You're making us look bad. You're making the Chicagoland area look bad by playing so poorly. But you deserve a game ball because you gave the Bears 2 interceptions, and I just know that I'm getting the game ball back. So technically, I'm giving the game ball to myself. Well, thank you.
If you're getting it back, then do you get to give it out again to a second person? Because you gave it to JJ. He threw it right back to you.
You know what? Let me
Uno reverse card.
So now we'll go to Patrick and then come back to Luke.
Let's give the Uno reverse game ball to Nashawn Wright. Gets the interception.
Damn it. Sure.
That's a tough play to high point that ball 1 week after he dropped the gimme. Also playing with a heavy heart. His college coach passed away over the weekend, was shot. And that was really
terrible.
tough to read. But to see a guy who's been much maligned, and for good reason, because he hasn't played well all the time, but he's made some interceptions. He's had a couple like key fumble recoveries. Love to see a story like that. A guy who was just waiver wire fodder. He's here because Al Harris had him in Dallas, and he's making the most of his opportunity. I don't think he's going to have many more left. So yeah, he should get the Uno reverse game ball.
I like it.
That was a Uno reverse game ball and then a skip and draw 4 against me because that was my damn game ball and the reasoning.
Come up with somebody else on the fly. Let's go. Or if you need to buy some time, you can give another one to JJ so he throws it back to you.
No.
He did throw 2 interceptions.
I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift.
He deserved
21 carries, 90 yards, no touchdowns. So we'll go DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai together. They had a touchdown, over 100 yards together as a tandem back there. As much as we talk about
Homer
the
on the 3rd and 5 carry.
Negative.
Ben Johnson.
He smashed in front of the ref, and I'm pissed about it.
He did, but even that play wasn't working.
No, I don't want to see.
That was not a good play call.
For as much as we talk about the Vikings past defense and blitz with Brian Flores, it's not an easy defense to run against either. And they do a really good job of setting up a lot of one-on-ones. And so there wasn't a ton of success there early for those guys in the backfield, but they continued to run hard. And as the game went on, they got more and more. And when the game was on the line there at the end of the game, Ben Johnson was really able to lean on them and they got the job done. So game ball to those two gentlemen. Running game is completely different from what we saw at the beginning of the year. Hats off to Ben Johnson. Sorry, DeAndre Swift. And awesome work by Kyle Monangai in his first NFL season here.
There's at least one run a game where Kyle Monangai run a game where you hear like the collision mic on a mic'd up somewhere, whether that's the quarterback nearby or like you hear the pop of the helmet and the pads making contact from the TV. and like it makes you go,
aggressive, angry runner.
Yes. He should just angry runs should just be named after him. Like he is the definition of an angry runner.
Monangai runs.
Yeah.
So the Bears are 7-3. They're in first place in the NFC North. The Athletics playoff simulator gives them a 49% chance to make the playoffs right now and a 15% chance to win the division. I think NFL.com's playoff simulator is a little bit higher, 59% for the Bears to make the playoffs right now. How many more wins? I mean, we talked about this last week, and now I feel even better. Last week I went out on a limb. I found 5 wins on the Bears schedule to get them to 11 this year. 1 down, got the one.
They got to get to 10
with the Vikings. Pick. They're going to win 11. They're going to win 11.
Okay.
I mean, they got to win next week, especially if Aaron Rodgers isn't playing. But even if he is, I know Aaron Rodgers loves Soldier Field and does own us in Soldier Field. Like, guy's a shell of himself. That they have to win that football game. Then you got to find a couple against the division. I'm not going into San Francisco and winning that game. Feels like it's going to be tough because they seem to be finding themselves a little bit with Brock Purdy coming back. That offense was humming yesterday against Arizona's not good, but they've been frisky at least at times this year, and the Niners made easy work out of them. They're going to have to figure out a way to win a couple division games here. Hopefully that Lions game is something where the Lions have some things clinched or whatever, but at this point, I guess the Bears are ahead of them. I don't know. They're going to have to find 3 more wins.
Yeah, clinch what?
They're
looking up the Bears right now.
Yeah, for now. Like, I don't think the Lions are going to be looking up at the Bears the rest of the way. That's all I'm saying.
That's a bold prediction.
I'm disappointed in you, Matt.
Guys, it's not that bold of it. The Lions are 1 game back of the Bears. I don't think it's a bold thing to say that I think the Lions still probably win the division. I love the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They've surpassed my expectations for this year. But like I've been doing all year. I'm staying level-headed. I'm being honest with where I think this football team is. I don't want to get too high.
You keep doing that because the Bears at this point are just spiting you, and I'm here for it.
Great, Patrick. I hope they do. I've never said anything bad about them. I'm not saying I think they're a bad football team.
No, I know that.
I have never once said that.
The Bears
are
being realistic. They got Minnesota. They got to find 4 more wins now to make my prediction come true and get to 11. Pittsburgh.
What?
Call that as a win. I still think they're going to win.
Name your wins here again. Pittsburgh,
Cleveland.
Oh, I forgot Cleveland's on the schedule. That's nice.
And Detroit in Week 18
at
home. The Detroit Lions have to play the Packers, the Rams, and the Bears also down the stretch. They're going to be that Week 18 game. But they still got to play the Packers and the Rams. And they still got to play.
They've got some winnable games.
Dallas. Though. I mean, Dallas can score.
There comes Dallas.
Hey, Eberflus held his own against the.
Man, Eberflus is going to give up $1 million.
He had some moments against the Vikings. Heck, he was the recipient of a Carlos Santos game-winning field goal a couple of years ago. It can happen.
I'm not saying it can't. I'm just
saying it can happen.
I'm not saying I never said it couldn't. I'm just saying where I think I am. I love the Bears. I think they're gonna. I think it's more likely than not that the Bears make the playoffs
this week. Are you going to feel different?
I'm going to feel like the Bears have a really good chance to make the playoffs.
Okay, fair enough.
I hope it comes down to Bears versus Lions Week 18 for the division on the line. I think that'd be awesome. That'd be sweet. I'm doing what I've done all year. I'm never getting too high. I'm never getting too low. I'm staying the course.
I just realized that the Bears play, not just realized, but it just dawned on me that the Bears play the Eagles on Black Friday. Are we doing a Saturday show?
I don't know.
Are we doing a Friday post-game show?
That's a
conversation. We're going to need to
question.
talk about it. Because when the Bears upset the Eagles on the road and the Lions lose to the Packers on Thanksgiving, and we're multiple games ahead of the Lions in the division, I'm going to need to come on here.
That'll be a conversation for this week. We'll come up with a game plan for that.
Hey, can I share a Bears fun fact? For
Please
all
do.
the schedule people, the Bears, 4 of their wins have come in games where they were the underdog. So 4 of their 7 wins have come against teams where they were not favored to win. That says something, right?
It does. It says they're very
well favored to beat the Steelers this week.
They
opened probably Rodgers. I wonder if Aaron Rodgers was a lock to be playing, what that line would look like. If they'd be favored, because usually they say the home team gets a 3-point bump in the line. Would they be favored? Would it be a pick 'em? I'm not really sure what that would be there, but they should be favored against Mason Rudolph and the Steelers. Absolutely.
Mason Rudolph sucks.
He's not very good at football. They should be favored that game. What are you laughing at me for, Patrick?
I'm not laughing at you. I am. The heel turn. I feel like this is a heel turn. This is not a heel turn. This is not a heel turn. Nothing I have said. I haven't said I think the Bears are bad. I haven't said I think the Bears should really be 5-5 and not 7-3. I've never said any of those things. I think they deserve to be 7. I said I haven't said those things. But you said it by not saying it.
No, I have not. Don't twist this around on me at all. They're doing what they should. They are playing their schedule and they're winning the games that are in front of them. You never apologize for winning in the NFL. I've said that several times. I cannot fully jump in with cannonball into the pool that the Bears are the best team in the NFC North, that they're a Super Bowl contender in the NFC until I see them.
If we're being realistic,
well, that's what I'm saying.
The Packers are the best team in the NFC North.
You said they're the best team in the NFC North. I just said I'm not sure they're going to win the NFC North, and I'm the bad guy here. You're just saying the same thing. You just think the Packers are better. So we're saying similar things here. I need to see the Bears beat contenders and hang with contenders, beat contenders before I'm like, all right, we're going to make some noise in the playoffs. We can win a playoff game.
The Bears.
I thought I didn't say that. I didn't say any of that.
That's all I've been saying. I think the Bears are a fun football team. I think they're a good football team. I don't think they're a great one. There's nothing wrong with that.
Brett shared a meme.
This is year one of I don't want to call it a rebuild because we're not the rebuild. Like, this is year one of the Ben Johnson era. We were expecting a growth year. If your growth year is 10-7 and a loss in the first round of the playoffs, that's a heck of a year. That's all I've been saying this whole time.
7 wins in 10 games when it took Matt Eberflus 29 games to get 7 wins. It took him to week 12 of his second season to get 7 wins. Ben Johnson's got 7 of those things in 10 games. Coaching matters.
The fact that Matt Eberflus was a culture guy hire, and Ben Johnson was considered an offensive, whiz kid, not a culture hire, is just hysterical to me. We need to. I think Patrick, you might have tweeted something or wrote something about it last week with Aaron Glenn too, which is nothing against Aaron Glenn. This isn't a shot at him, but we need to fully end this whole narrative that if you're an offensive coach, you can't be a leader of men, and if you're a defensive coach, you're automatically a leader of men culture guy. Ben Johnson is proof that you can both be an offensive, I don't want to say genius, whatever, expert, and also be a culture guy, because he's got that locker room more bought in than just about any locker room in the NFL.
Yes. Also, that was actually a shot at Aaron Glenn from me.
No, I know it was for you. I'm going to stay away from that one because I haven't seen it. It's year one, whatever. Strictly just looking at Matt Eberflus last year, who was a culture guy and a leader of men, all that stuff. Let's stop that narrative.
It's not a culture I want to be a part of. The Matt Eberflus culture probably does not season its chicken, so I don't want to be a part of that.
There's nothing worse than unseasoned chicken.
The literal
That's
worst.
a perfect comp for Matt Eberflus. Unseasoned chicken.
What do we got
That's
next?
Great. Well, hey, I put my stamp on the Steelers game. I have the Bears winning the game.
I love it. Look, man, you got to beat the Mason Rudolph led Steelers. I know Mike Tomlin's a great.
I wouldn't get too comfortable with that. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play.
I think he's going to try. Or he's ducking the Bears because they're finally good.
Maybe
the Steelers because he thought he'd get one more easy win at Soldier Field, and all of a sudden he sees that the Bears are in first place. Like, oh, my wrist hurts now.
I know Aaron Rodgers has not had the exact career path as Brett Favre because he didn't end up with the Vikings. He ended up with the Steelers for what's likely going to be his last year. And I would never wish injury upon anybody ever. But if he played the Bears with an injured wrist and maybe Montez Sweat sacked him in a certain way and re-aggravated that wrist injury enough where he wasn't playing football again, that would be a really heck of a career parallel there. Granted, I know Corey Wooten ended Favre's career in Minnesota with that concussion, but if that was Jets or Packers, Jets, 1 year with one more team, season-ending injury against the Bears, that would be something.
Corey Wooten kind of.
I'm not rooting for that to happen. I would never root for injury. Obviously,
okay,
I'm just
it's
saying,
not his neck. It's his wrist.
No, but if he play, I'm again not rooting for him to break his wrist either. But if he's going to play with a slightly fractured or whatever injured wrist, and there's a high chance for re-aggravation if he gets landed on weird. Just saying that's a possibility. I'm putting that out there as something that could happen. I'm not rooting for it.
Come on, Matt, go Ivan Drago on us. If he dies, he dies.
If he does, he does. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm rooting for it, but that is a statement of fact.
I want him to play. I want him to play. The Bears need to beat him at Soldier Field, the place that he calls his home, his second home. He's talked all this
crap.
Let me watch my mouth before I get in trouble from the commenters. Yep. He's talked all this crap about the Bears and owning Soldier Field. I want him to play. I want him to lose his final game at Soldier Field to Caleb Williams.
Yes.
And that's it. Whatever happens to him in the future, God bless. Have a good time. But he needs to play and he needs to lose.
Time in the future.
I'm going to be disappointed if he does it.
No matter what happens, I'll just be happy if the Bears win. But I would like them to beat Aaron Rodgers.
I'm the cracker salesman at the in the Simpsons episode where Milhouse's dad is like, so that's it? Goodbye, good luck? I don't recall saying good luck. That's me to Aaron Rodgers. Goodbye, so long, bad luck. I hope you have the worst time of your life down the stretch, starting with the Bears game this week. I want the worst of Aaron Rodgers. I want him to go full end of the line, Brett Favre throwing to guys on the other team looking disheveled, questioning his life decisions. That's what
I actually think Aaron Rodgers, it's not a heel turn because he's been a heel this whole time for Bears fans and he knows it and he likes playing up to that. I actually think the full heel move would be to sit out and not even give the Bears a chance to, because I think it would be for him to sit out and not
coward.
I don't know how much you watch wrestling, but usually the heel is a coward. Yeah, the heel usually is a coward and does stuff like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to put my title on the line, but not tonight on my terms. This would be Aaron Rodgers being like, no, I'm okay. Actually, I am hurt. I can't do it.
It's a big wrestling household over here. I'm very familiar.
That would be the heel move, though. Would be to maybe make you believe he's going to be back, and then Sunday, no, wrist can't go. Sorry.
That would be on brand for him.
I would be so mad.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. I would guess he doesn't play, though.
All right. Lou, what are we looking for this week, and where can we find it?
All right. Jalen Johnson stuff. Obviously, that's going to be a big story. Aaron Rodgers injury stuff. We'll check the updated playoff odds tomorrow after Monday Night Football. Just like full disclosure, not watching that thing. I'm not watching the Raiders and the Cowboys. That's not how I want to spend my Monday night. I will do literally.
I was offered a free ticket with free food and drink to that game tonight. Turned it down.
Free food, man.
Free food and drink.
Thank you. No, thank you. The fact that I would have to leave my house, get in my car, drive there, and then not worth it.
That's fair. That
is a trash game.
And we're cooking up some new features at BN Bears, so stay tuned for that. You can check us out at bleachernation.com/Bears, at Twitter, BN_Bears, Facebook.com/Bleacher Nation Bears, Blue Sky, BN-Bears. And check out the stuff that's happening with the Blackhawks and the Bulls. The Blackhawks have looked good. The Bulls have not, but Kobe White's back. And
fun again.
Baseball rumors. So, the BN gang is busy. So, check out our friends.
That's it. And we're winning 11 games. I don't care what you say, Matt. 11-6 or nothing.
I hope we do. If the Bears finish this year 11-6, you won't find anybody happier in the city of Chicago than me. Promise you.
That's only because I'm in Vegas.
I'll be as happy as you are.
Happy this fight.
No, I'm happier than you are.
See you next week.
See you next week, guys. Get an obvious shirt.
Yeah.